Hey guys, welcome back to Laurence McKenna on LFC channel, where Liverpool are in the process of finalising some contracts with Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah. Huge news for the club, but what does it mean and what is it that other people in covering this may have missed? Well, first of all, the big headline for me is it means that Liverpool are a place that big players want to stay. Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk will probably have had a lot of offers. They'll probably have had a lot of people looking in. They'll probably have had a lot of people saying, hey, you really happy at this club? And even if they weren't, even if, say, Liverpool were making them miserable or whatever, they still would have had a lot of offers. Even if it was the other way around and they were getting a bunch of high money offers, which I would imagine they were, because signing on bonuses and signing on fees are always going to be better elsewhere if that player has to basically transfer for free and wouldn't have to pay any sort of transfer fee, mainly because obviously they would normally pay that to the club. Now they can pay something to the player, something to the agent, make everyone a little bit happy, sweeten the deal. It has a big impact. It has a big impact on people's lives. It's millions and millions of euros or pounds or whatever it is. And again, it shows signing for Liverpool, being in, this organization, being in this setup is more valuable to these players than being in another setup and essentially, getting a load of cash, but not necessarily being the Liverpool legend, having another bite at that cherry, having another opportunity to win a Premier League, to win a Champions League, to do something great at a club that you've made a legacy at is a big part of some players' careers. And as much I think a lot of people more recently have been talking about the industry or talking about wider aspirations for a lot of players, such as Trent Alexander-Arnold, they forget that Liverpool are also an aspirational club for some people, or have made themselves a place that some players with aligning values want to be. Being an aspirational club, being a club where players want to go is very important. First of all, it sends out like a bat signal into the sky. I signed for these guys. I love it here. And if I'm elite, which Virgil van Dijk is probably one of the best centre-backs of all time, and Mo Salah, who's probably one of the best wingers / attackers of all time, wants to stay at Liverpool, even if they are entering the final stages of their career most likely, if they've done that at the peak of their career, they've been at us for the peak of their career, and the peak of their career was so fruitful that they wanted to remain, they wanted to continue the relationship, and they didn't want to go elsewhere, get cash, which they probably would have been able to pay off with anyway. So anyway, all of those are positives. It shows a signal to the Milos Kerkez of the world, the Ekitikes, the you know what I'm saying, the other players that Liverpool looking to sign this summer. We have an intention of being here because we think there is a meaningful thing going on. If they didn't think there was something meaningful going on, if it was just about cash, they would have gone somewhere else. Liverpool will not have been able to match some of the offers that other clubs will have given them. Not because of wages, not because of lack of ambition, any of those things. Just purely because when you sign a player in the way that you can sign a player on a free, you get a big benefit, and so does the player. Secondly, the concept of loyalty. That has been so flexible for Liverpool fans and for Liverpool over the past few months. 1 minute Trent Alexander-Arnold staying, 1 minute Virgil's going, 1 minute Salah's going. There are so many different permutations of all the different elements of what is going on at the club right now that it's made us question what loyalty is at Liverpool. Well, we can define it now. And to an extent, it makes the lack of communication in the Trent Alexander-Arnold transfer saga worse. Not necessarily on Trent Alexander-Arnold's side, by the way, possibly also on Liverpool's side as well. But it shows that Liverpool are not easy to negotiate with. It shows that, overall, Liverpool are hard negotiators and will always look for the best position of the club, not necessarily for the best position of the player, though very often those two things can align and Liverpool and the player get a really good deal, / something which, feels beneficial to both sides. First of all, staying at the club. Secondly, on money. Thirdly, challenging for stuff. But it doesn't make Trent look great. There are two players who have not grown up in the city. There are two players who have, seen pastures new or pastures greener or pastures elsewhere and want to stay at Liverpool. They had the opportunity to go to other big clubs. They've had the opportunity to go to Saudi, earn all that money. They've had the opportunity at one point or another in their career to go to a big institution on the continent. Some of them, of course, have played for some of these big institutes. I would say, obviously, Trent is the only one who hasn't been on the continent, hasn't had a bit of a journeyman type career before his Liverpool career. So to an extent, still what he's doing is understandable. Though, again, when you find people who've been from club to club, it shows that when they stay somewhere, it's generally good news. It's generally a good reflection of the club. It also shows that Liverpool are competitive in the market and are offering good enough or, competitive wages and competitive value for all these players. And that the players believe in the project. Believe me, that is a really big thing. It also shows that Liverpool are ambitious. It shows that Liverpool, market-wise, are in a position where they want to push and keep pushing. And they know that it's difficult at the moment to go out there and get a centre-back and a right winger that can be as productive, that can be as brilliant, that can be as leadershipy, that can be in the shape of a Mo Salah or a Virgil van Dijk, and that with the time, they will be able to bet other players in. I think generally this means that Liverpool won't sign another right winger this summer. They'll sign another attacking, malleable forward. And I think it also means that they'll probably sign someone at left back, but probably not someone at left centre back. You can't replace your captain like that. You can't be subbing him in and out for games. And as much as I think Virgil van Dijk at some point in his career will get to a James Milner type role at a club like Liverpool, I don't think he's quite there yet. I think he's certainly got another couple of, touch wood kind of thing, another couple of big seasons in him where Liverpool can go off the back of his brilliance and essentially pair him up with another brilliant defender, be that Konate, be that whoever, and make something meaningful. I think it also shows that Slot isn't the type of manager that just says, oh, I need all my own guys. These aren't my guys. These aren't the kind of people that I can rock with. Shows they are malleable, all-time greats. Not just people who are fitting the Klopp system or fitting an intensive system or fitting just a high line or a deep line or whatever it is. These are guys who week in, week out will be malleable, will be adaptable, will be what the manager wants out on the field, will be great leaders in the dressing room, will be great marketing assets for Liverpool, are the kind of people that in a pre-season, when you go to wherever in the Middle East, wherever you go to, anywhere in the Far East, whether you go to anywhere in America, they will bring in tickets, names, all these kind of things. People want to go and see these guys. And overall, I think what we're seeing here is, again, Liverpool have looked at the market and they haven't found much value out there. They haven't found that there is a great right winger with great output that they believe can bring the same continuity in challenging for things season in, season off. And I think what Liverpool are looking to do this summer is build from the position that they are in. So say that they win the league. I think they want to be challenging for the league next season, but they want to be bettering the points total they got this season, and they want to be bettering the overall record. That isn't necessarily, by the way, about improving on Salah or Van Dijk. That is necessarily about getting better fullbacks or fullbacks who will be more consistent for Liverpool, who Liverpool can build with, and getting someone in the centre of the pitch, on in the striking areas, kind of in a Nunez type price range, and then probably someone on the left as well, because I think Diaz will probably go. They're going to be looking for a lot of value in the market. They didn't step in last summer, and I think they will be stepping in this summer. And it probably won't be Ekitike only that we end up signing this summer. It'll be someone in that mould, and the same in Liverpool's defence. I think we'll look at another centre-back. We'll look at another left-back. We've already got the goalkeeping replacement. But with so many significant figures potentially leaving in Alisson and Trent, and other people making silly noises, such as Gravenberch's dad in the media, blah, 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 or agent, not his dad. Though those two, problem for a lot of people, very similar. What we're seeing is that Liverpool trying to have some form of consistency season to season. And I don't think that's such a bad thing. I actually think that shows Liverpool do have this forward planning, that they were never really going to be able to get deals to go until now anyway. Salah and Van Dijk were both going to be waiting for big offers, as is Trent, as are a number of other players if they are entering the final year of their contract. And a lot of people will be tempted by that. It was a risky game from Liverpool, a very risky game where they could have left into this out this season into the next with no right back that resemble what we had last year, a centre back legend and captain gone, and the all-time greatest Premier League player that Liverpool have had outside of probably Steven Gerrard in Mo Salah. That would have been dangerous. The thing to do now is to go out there and make a statement signing. It's not about getting the most expensive guy. It's not about getting the best guy. It's about getting the best fit for Liverpool. And this will help Liverpool to get that fit. Milos Kerkez liking it on Instagram is obviously incidental, but something you can probably read into. Though, again, not a statement signing, just a very good signing. Though, in the long run, probably something where someone makes a video saying Liverpool's secret was the left-back area. When we were weaker in that area, we weren't that good, blah, blah, blah. You know that's going to come. You know that video will be made, guys. It's just the way that YouTube works. And you know it'll be about 2 months into the season next year. Mark your calendars for September. Someone's going to make that tactical video about Milos Kerkez next season, right? Anyway, it also means that Liverpool overall are willing to pay big players the wages when they see the value. We're talking about where's the money, we're talking about all these phrases, we're talking about all of this, oh, we don't want to keep the big boys. I think Liverpool have always wanted to do that. I think they've always been clear about that. And I think the big players have always been clear about staying. What it is that when Liverpool don't see or, can't touch that value, they won't go for it. And I want a club that's willing to walk away from the negotiating table, that knows what it wants, that isn't just going to pander like Manchester United have over the last few years to the PRFC side of things, and essentially do a bunch of things which in the long run haven't worked out so well for the club. That is a bad business move. Making moves for image, making moves for just feeling outside of the stats is not good. And I think what we're going to see in the coming months is that Liverpool's policy will be vindicated because of long-term planning since the Klopp era, long back into the Klopp era, not just last season, but also that what we keep thinking of is season. We don't think of the continuity between all of those. Liverpool's continuity is being incredibly important, and Liverpool letting Jurgen Klopp go was a big risk. It was a big danger. It was a big cloud for Liverpool's continuity. But in bringing in Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards, looking at the Malagas, looking at the French Ligue 1 teams, all those kind of things, Liverpool are looking to build for the long term here. And it's about building an asset. The fact that FSG, or their sub companies, whatever, are looking at buying other clubs and other teams is good for Liverpool. Shows they're looking for a market which subverts the fact that we're not in the European Union, that shows that we can do progression within Europe, and also shows that Liverpool are an ambitious club who are looking to compete, not just exist. And that is what these re-signing of the contracts are. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I've tried to be as reasonable as possible in this video. Let me know what you guys think, and I would love to see you in the Discord and in the Patreon. If you want to support the work we do, or you want to give a super chat or a super thanks, I really appreciate all of your donations. I really appreciate everything that you guys say. I get in the comments. I do try to debate or chat or interact with people just because I really enjoy it and I like the community that we have. And I hope that you will get in there as well. Appreciate you. I'll chat to you in a while. Much love. Bye.